Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Bert the Stormtrooper and this is the home of That's Just Prime, the comprehensive Optimus Prime review series. I also review other Transformers, lots of G1 stuff, as well as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters, GoBots, and pretty much any other toy that may jump out at me. I also do the occasional arcade and pinball machine videos, unboxings, blogs, challenges, and miscellaneous videos where my daughter usually makes fun of me. Those are a lot of fun. If you're new to the channel, thanks for checking me out. Please be sure to click that subscribe button and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share if you like what you see. Hello and welcome, I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the long-awaited Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Autobot Alliance Ironhide and Prowl. It's finally here. I'm so excited. I am almost speechless. Long-awaited after many months of the pre-order and 4 shipment delays. I finally got these guys in the mail. I know that these have already been out for about a month or so. People started receiving them. A lot of the reviews have already been done on them. And I was honestly kind of waiting to get a cancellation at any minute, at any given moment. And then I got a surprise notification that they were on the way and they just arrived today. I'm super happy and super excited. So I hope this means that everybody out there that did put an order out on the for these guys that has been getting delays on them is also going to be getting them very soon. So I hope that you guys get them too. So here we have, these were released in November of 2020. The pre-orders for these went up, I think it was in August or July, if I remember correctly. And they started shipping out around November. It was an Amazon exclusive and it retailed for approximately $40. So here we have, there's no window box on this one. This is just a closed up box. We've got artwork of Ironhide and Prowl right there in the front. Extended artwork over here on this side of the box. On this side, we've got that Earthrise artwork. And then on the back, we've got product shots of Ironhide, both in his vehicle and his robot mode, and Prowl, both in his vehicle and in his robot mode. So let's go and get these guys out of the box and check them out. And here we have Ironhide and Prowl out of the package, and I love this set. So here's everything that came included in the packet itself. You got the 2 figures. Each figure comes with 1 weapon. The weapon for Ironhide is already in the vehicle. I love that they integrated the weapon into the vehicle, and we'll go more into that once we get into transformation. And then for Prowl, we got his rifle here. And we didn't get any of the shoulder cannons, and there's been some some discussion about that. We'll get into that in just a moment. But there's his cannon that he came with. We'll look at that in a moment. The instruction sheet, which is for both figures. So again, you get just the 1 sheet with instructions for both. So you'll have Prowl on one side, and then you'll have Ironhide on the other. And then of course you've got the piece of the map and the decoder. And on this one, this is like a thick card stock. And then on this one, if we decode that, we've got the Nebulon Station is what we've got showing there. So there you go. That's everything that came included. And then we can take a look at the figures themselves, which we already have in vehicle mode. Absolutely cool figures, cool vehicles. Of course, at this point, this late in the game, because I did get mine a little later than most people did, this isn't something we haven't seen before. I've already reviewed Ratchet, which is a repaint of Ironhide here. And of course, we've taken a look at Blue Streak and Smokescreen, which are all retools and repaints of Prowl here. So we're not really seeing anything new here. We'll start with Prowl again. And it's just very cool that we're able to complete the teams now. And that's just a lot of fun for me. So Prowl is again that based or inspired by that Datsun Fairlady Z. Of course, it's been updated and some creative license has been taken so that, they don't get in any legal troubles with Nissan. But there you go. Vehicle is approximately 5 inches long, about 1.5 inches tall, going all the way around. Very cool white sporty vehicle with the black around the bottom, themed in that police theme, with the added light bar here at the top, which can be removed. This can just, it's on a peg, it's on a 5mm peg, and that can be removed. You can take the weapon, you can pop it up here if you want, or you can go sideways with it. And I believe you can also peg it on the light bar itself. Yep, you can do that as well if you want some sort of attack mode. Now, personally, if you'll indulge me, here's what I've recently started doing with the weapons for all 3 of these vehicles. So I'll just go ahead and open this up. and get the arm out of the way. And then I take the gun and just shove it in here with the handle and the buttstock right here under the front of the hood there. And then I just put this back up again. It's not like really secure on anything, but it doesn't have room to fall off. So you can sit here and shake this. That weapon's not going anywhere, and it's not going to impede with rolling the vehicle. So that's kind of how I've taken to storing the weapons on all 3 of these figures. For the other 2 that have the shoulder cannons, I'll open the door and I'll just put the shoulder cannon on top of his forearm and close the door, and then I'll put the gun down there. And yeah, currently these guys have all 3 of their weapons inside. And yeah, they're rattling a little bit, but as you can see, the weapons are not coming off or falling out. And you can see the handguns right there for both of those. So that's the way I've been doing that. Really, really happy with this. Now, it's been brought up, the whole thing about not having the shoulder weapons for this guy. I see what they're going for. Yes, the G1 figure had shoulder cannons. And we'll look at those during the comparisons. But this is this Earthrise aesthetic that they've been applying, the Siege and the Earthrise and the upcoming Kingdom vehicles or figures is based or inspired on the G1 animation. And in G1 animation, Prowl did not have shoulder cannons. So I get why they weren't there. It would have been cool to have the option, but it's really not necessary if you want to go for that animated look. And it helps differentiate them from the other ones as well. So there's that. So there's Prowl in vehicle mode, a couple of comparisons. Now we've already seen, but we'll already go ahead and pull these out again. So here we have him next to Smokescreen and Bluestreak, so you can see what these guys all look like together. And again, it's just very, very cool to complete the set. Very minor mold differences between these 2. Of course, on Smokescreen, they gave him a new bumper. And I think that might have been it, just the bumper. I think there is a minor mold change in the robot mode. If I remember correctly, we'll look at that when we get to the robots. When it comes to Bluestreak and Prowl, they are pretty much the same. Now, I do wish they would have at least painted the pegs. If they're going to give us these dumb pegs, which we all hate, at least paint them so that you don't have those big white spots just sticking out. I don't know. Same thing with Smokescreen and those big blue spots just sticking out of the wheels. They just look terrible, I think. One more comparison. Here he is with his G1 counterpart. So once again, we can see where we were or where we're coming from. We can see where we are now. And they look really, really nice together. You can see it's a very close approximation of the original Fairlady Z vehicle with some small creative licenses taken. Now, I do hope to see coming along in the future a sticker kit from Toy Hacks so that we can get all the rest of these highway patrols and the little shield in the front there. Maybe these police doors a little more G1 looking. These things on these intakes on the hood, maybe we can do those in stickers up here, something like that. So Toy Hacks, if you're watching this, if you're listening, yeah, give us a set for this guy, please. All right, so that is going to take care of Smokescreen. We'll set him off to the side, and let's look at Ironhide. And again, approximately 5 inches long, about 2.5 inches tall. We've got that minivan that's inspired on that old Datsun minivan as well. A lot of Datsuns in these OG1 vehicles. And but again, modernized with some creative licenses taken. Very, very cool looking. One minor gripe, it's the same minor gripes that everybody has. The wheels are still the Cybertronian wheels that came from Siege. So some Earth mode wheels would have been nice with the painted hubcaps or the painted centers there or the rims. On this one, at least these are black, where with Ratchet they were gray. So with this, I could take a Sharpie and paint the centers and it'll look better. I also know that there are some 3D printed kits out there. People are printing some new wheels for them, so that's an option to look at. And the same thing with the back, where you got that hollowness and kind of like the bottom of the feet showing. This worked for a Cybertronian mode, but for an Earth mode, this doesn't really work. It would have been nice to see some sort of a back, an actual back to the vehicle itself. Rolls really nicely, and that's pretty much all there is to say about this guy. Some quick comparisons. Of course, here he is with his mold mate, repaint mate, wave mate, whatever you want to call them, Ratchet. So you can see what these guys look like together. And of course, again, very, very cool to finally get these guys together to kind of, even though they weren't ever really a team, the fact that they were mold mates, it's always good to have them both. It's always kind of cool. A couple more comparisons. Here he is with the Masterpiece Ironhide. So you can see how these guys scale together. And of course, yeah, see what I mean? It would have been nice to have like an actual back of a vehicle to go here, you know. And again, I know there are 3D printed kits for that out there where you can just swap out the feet and the feet look like the back of a vehicle. Stickers are gonna hopefully come out for this as well, so that we can actually get some windows and we can make all of this look even. I'm really crossing my fingers on that one. So there he is with Masterpiece, and then of course one more time here he is with G1, so you can see one more time where we were and where we are. So you know where you're going by knowing where you've been. Leave me that comment down and let me know if you know what movie that was from. Okay, so that's about it for comparisons. Now let's get into transformation. So we'll start transformation with Prowl first. We'll set Ironhide off to the side. And of course, nothing we haven't seen before at this point. I've already reviewed this mold twice. So we'll just kind of go through it real quick. Let's start by opening the doors. The doors are tabbed in to the side of the arm. So we'll open these up. And then we're going to bring the arms out and then off to the side. And in my case, drop the weapon and set it off to the side. Other arm out and set it off to the side. Reach on the top here, push this panel in. And that's going to make the opening for the head, and we can take the head in, turn it around. The head on mine is super tight. Okay, doing the back of the vehicle, we're just going to take this whole back of the vehicle. It's just going to accordion outwards like so. Turn this around. Reach down here and open up, or rather turn his heel pieces. Separate them at the legs and take these little panels and rotate these down. On mine, this one will, as you can see right there, it just pops off if you look at it the wrong way. It's super, super loose on mine. Finally, we're going to come up here to the top. We got a double hinge on the back there where it's going to allow us to bring the roof piece down. Fold it at the that hinge there and bring the whole thing down. There's a tab on the what was the hood piece that is now the chest or torso plate. There's a little tab there that's going to go into the bottom of the torso, and then there are tabs there and there where the inside of the shoulders are going to tab into as well. And for some reason mine doesn't line up on the shoulders properly, which is weird because the other two vehicles or the other two figures have no problem lining up the shoulders. It's really, really weird. And finally that tab right there. Get them all nice and straightened out. And there's Prowl in robot mode. We'll give him his weapon. And we'll talk about, well, we'll talk about him now, I suppose. Here in robot mode, Prowl is approximately 5.5 inches tall. So again, that deluxe size looks really, really nice. Now, of course, in terms of molding, he is identical to Blue Streak. They're identical. They're just straight up repaints of each other. They have the same head mold and the vehicle molds. Everything is the same. The only one that really has some different parts is going to be Smokescreen. And we'll look at him in just a moment. So again, for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, so you've got up and down, side to side, all the way around. Shoulders can go forward and backward all the way around, and they can also go in and out. We have a rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, and rotation at the wrist. Rotation at the waist. Legs can kick forward all the way, back that far because of the way this square piece of the hip hits the back of the torso. That's as far back as you're going to go. In and out, rotation at the thigh, bend at the knee, forward and backward on the ankles, and of course ankle tilt for wide stances and breakdancing and surfing and all that good stuff. So there you go. There is Prowl in robot mode. And for some comparisons, we'll bring in, one more time, we'll bring in Smokescreen. You can see what these guys look like together. Sorry, that's Blue Streak. This is Smokescreen. So you can see the three of them now together, and they look really, really good. And again, you can see these two are pretty much just repaints of each other. They're not, they are identical to each other. Smokescreen, they're near identical. Different head and a different chest piece, bumper piece there. Everything else is the same on all of these guys. And yeah, again, it's just really, really cool to have all three of these together. Something that I haven't even done for my G1 figures. I've got these two in G1, but I do not have Smokescreen in G1, so I still have yet to complete the set. So there you go. There's these guys all together. Now let's go ahead and take Prowl. We'll set him off to the back, and we'll start working on Ironhide here. Actually, we didn't do, there's one comparison that we're missing. Prowl with G1 Prowl. I just talked about the G1 figures and I almost didn't compare them. So there you go. That is what these guys look like together, and once again, where we've come from and where we are. So very, very cool to see these guys together. Now we're going to take Prowl, set him off to the side, and work on Ironhide. And one more time, this is not something, I'm late to the party when it comes to Prowl and Ironhide, because my shipment took forever to get to me, 4 delays. But again, of course, I am considered myself fortunate that I did get these guys, eventually got these guys. A lot of folks did not. A lot of folks received cancellations on these, and that's very unfortunate. I hope that Amazon will eventually correct all of that and that everybody will get their sets. But all right, so again, nothing we haven't already seen. We're going to start off at the front here, take the windshield, and just kind of pop it open. And then I like to start with these windows here and just kind of turn them outwards. And the reason I do that is because it kind of gets the whole roof started and allows me to just pop it off. Just like that. Go down in here, and the weapon is right in there. So we can take the weapon, set it off to the side. And then for this thing, we've got the little handle here. We can push that forward. That reveals the guns. If you want, you can have these out all the way like so for a sled. This way or this way, whichever way you want. You can use that as a sled. And I kind of like it this way, so I'm going to keep it like that. Set it off to the side for the moment. Finish on Ironhide here. So again, we're going to go to the back of the vehicle, open up these panels, pop these guys up, open the side panels, and that is going to allow me now to separate the legs, close these panels, and then bring these side panels down. That's going to finish the legs of the vehicle. Or of the robot, rather. Again, for fun, at this point, if you want, take him and rotate him at the shoulder, or sorry, at the waist. Mine is super tight. Bend him at the waist, bring the windshield up, separate the arms, and bring them down. And now you've got yourself a fun G1 fan mode, if you want to do that. And for comparison, there we go. So if you wanted to do a fun fan G1 mode, you can absolutely do that, which I think is very cool. I don't think that was intentional, but it's just a cool side effect of the engineering of this figure. The fact that we can do this with Crosshairs and with Ratchet and with Ironhide and the Siege guys and all of that. Again, I don't think it was intentional, but it's a cool side effect of the engineering, and I love showing that off every chance I get. All right, continuing on. So we're going to take this guy and turn him back around at the waist properly. All right, so we're going to take the front of the bumper and fold this down, separate the, I don't know what to call this. So the front of the vehicle separates. There's a little rotating hinge right there. So you pop it up. That allows you to rotate it, and then you pop it back down again. Take the arms, bring them down. Bring this bumper back here, bring it back up again, and that's going to clip into place, and then the head is going to come out. Tab, tab, tab hole, tab that into place. And then using this double hinge for the window, you're going to bring the window slightly down. There are 2 tabs here and here, and there's some slots there and there. Line those up and tab the window to the chest. And there is Ironhide in his robot mode. And again, about 5.5 to 6 inches tall, somewhere in between there, making it a very nice, tall deluxe, also bulky. You know, Ironhide is supposed to be kind of the equivalent of a bouncer. You know, he's supposed to be the muscle. So very nice size for Ironhide here. I really... Coming close, we did not look at the faces, so let's look at Prowl's head real quick so you can see his head sculpt. And then here is Ironhide with his head sculpt, and again, very G1 inspired by the animation. He looks a lot like the animation for that G1 cartoon show. Very, very cool. Minor gripes about him really are nothing we haven't heard before. The shoulders are black. That kind of breaks apart both the vehicle and the robot mode, to be honest. The robot mode, not so bad. The back shoulders don't look terribly out of place. You know, red would have been better, but whatever. They don't look terribly out of place in robot mode. But in vehicle mode, it just kind of makes what should be a side panel and a window on the vehicle just a black square, which is weird. And then just going all the way around, very slim, no backpack, no anything like that. For articulation, head is on a ball joint, up and down, side to side. Shoulders all the way around, forward and backward. They can go in and out on that hinge there. Rotation at the bicep, bend at the elbow, rotation at the wrist, rotation at the waist. Hips can go forward and backward that far, in and out, rotation at the thigh, bend at the knee, and no forward and backward, but you do have ankle tilt. So again, wide stances, and that's a dance pose right there, rap battle, dance battle, whatever you want to call it. So very, very cool. Accessories for Ironhide. We have the aforementioned gun, which he can hold in either hand, and of course, very much throwback to his G1 gun. Love that about it. We saw this as the sled earlier. You can point it this way, you can point it that way, whatever you want to do with it. You can also take this and close these panels up. They do tab into place. And now you have this piece here, and you can do whatever you want with it. You've got a handle. You can hold it as a big, giant bazooka rifle laser thing of death and doom if you want. Or you can turn it around and make it a shield. You can plug it into his forearm. You can plug it into his shoulder, which I think is where it looks best if you want to use this as a shield. I think that is where it looks best. So that's really cool. I like that a lot. And then, of course, you can also plug that into his back if you don't want to look at it. Or you can just set it off to the side. And again, you know, there's been a lot of debate on this. I think it's really cool. I love this piece. You know, there's a lot of debate as to whether the engineering should make it to where it's a perfect transformation or not, or whatever. I like it personally. For me, I like it. I like the fact that, you know, G1 gets a lot of hate. Parts formers get a lot of hate, actually. But a lot of G1 figures were parts formers. So I don't mind parts formers. I grew up with G1. I grew up with part forming. I don't mind it. I don't hate it, anything of the sort. With this, I honestly don't know what engineering could have, what kind of plastic origami they could have possibly done to make this entire top half of a vehicle disappear. I really don't know, but I think it was a really, really smart call to make this removable and then make it versatile. So we can make it a shield, we can make it a weapon, we can make it a sled. It's playability. There's play value to this, and I really, really appreciate that about it. I do. I like this a lot. So we'll set that off to the side. We'll do a couple of comparisons, and again, we've already seen it, but we'll do it again. Here he is with G1 Ironhide, so you can see once again where we were and where we are. And we really have come a long way when it comes to this guy. Yeah, this is great. This is fantastic. It looks like the G1 cartoon. It looks exactly as it should, which is perfect. I love that. We'll take a look at him next to his mold mate, Ratchet. So you can see these guys together. And again, just very cool to have them both together. Very, very cool. And then finally, let's bring in the big guy, MP Ironhide. And boy, we have to adjust our camera now, don't we? So there he is. So you guys can see what these guys look like together. Very, very cool. So there we have it. The Amazon exclusive Autobot Alliance set, Prowl and Ironhide. I absolutely love these figures. Again, I know I'm late to the game on this. There's a lot of frustration involved in these guys. There was 4 delays I got from Amazon, but eventually they made it to my doorstep. I know that a lot of people have had cancellations, and a lot of people are still waiting and have had further delays on their shipments for these figures. I hope that both Hasbro and Amazon, I don't know who is to blame. I'm not looking for point any fingers or anything like that, but whoever party or parties are responsible, I hope that they can make up for it. They can release more figures and they can fulfill all of these orders. And eventually, I hope that everybody that wanted to get these figures can get their hands on them, because these are amazing and very fun, great addition to your collections. And I think that about does it for the Amazon exclusive Autobot Alliance set. Again, Prowl and Ironhide. What did you think of these figures? Let me know in the comments down below. Give me some thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're notified when I upload a new video. I've got that donate button up there if you want to hit on that. I certainly would appreciate it. Please share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.